Alright, so it's the end of the year already, and 2014 has flown by remarkably quickly. So, as it is the last day of the year, I wanted to take a look at my favorite movies of 2014. And I want to tell you now, I haven't seen any of those Oscar movies, like Boyhood, Birdman, The Imitation Game, Gone Girl, etc. You know, the award movies. Also, there are a few movies that I haven't seen that probably would have made the list if I had. Or maybe they wouldn't, I don't know. I'm talking about Godzilla, The Fault in Our Stars, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Mockingjay Part 1, and Edge of Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat, or whatever they're calling it these days. So don't expect to see those movies here. That being said, let's dive right into what I think were the best movies of 2014. Number 8. How to Train Your Dragon 2. I really enjoyed How to Train Your Dragon 1, but something that took me out of it a bit was that I really loved the books, and the movie is nothing like the book. But I've gotten past that and realized how awesome these movies are by themselves. This movie just looked spectacular. All the new dragons were interesting and colorful. The music was great, just like the first one, and it had some pretty genuine, heartfelt, and sad moments that I won't spoil here. It was also interesting to watch how the dragons acted, because as someone who owns a dog, I could see how the actions of the dragons had taken inspiration from actual pets. Clearly, the director put in the extra effort to make these things not just mindless beings that looked pretty. And I'd also like to mention, when the huge epic fights were going down and the music was booming, I honestly got the same feeling I got watching one of the big battles from the Lord of the Rings movies. And that is one heck of a feeling. Number 7. Interstellar. This film didn't get super great reception, or at least not as good as I would have expected it to get, but I loved it. The only reason it isn't higher on this list is because in one or two parts it slowed down a bit, and Matt Damon wasn't that great, at least compared to the other actors in the movie. The film was very complicated, and I'm very proud that I understood most of it. The ending confused me a little bit, and if you were confused by it, I've linked a cool video in the description that should help you out. The visual effects in this movie were mind-blowing. This really is a film for the cinemas. The black holes and space stuff looked great. When that giant wave was coming, it was so intense. Everything just looked amazing. The relativity was so cool to me, as in 1 hour near the black hole is 20 years on Earth. The acting was great, from McConaughey, Young Murphy, Michael Caine, Topher Grace, everyone. Now, this last point is a bit spoilery, so if you haven't seen the movie, skip ahead a bit. I'll give you 3 seconds. Anyway, at the end, it turns out McConaughey was the ghost that Murphy was hearing all along. Firstly, the visuals and time-bending stuff in that scene were phenomenal, but I thought it was a great plot twist that I honestly didn't see coming. I've seen quite a few reviews saying that the plot twist was really obvious.
Because right when she said that, she was like, I have a ghost in my room. I was like, no, that's gonna be Matthew McConaughey at the end of the movie.
But I didn't anticipate it. I saw it with 2 friends, and they didn't either. Maybe we just weren't really that focused, but I like to think it was subtle enough, no? Anyway, overall, Interstellar was incredible. Number 6. Big Hero 6. Alright, I'll be completely honest, as I usually am. I had pretty much no expectations for this movie. I hadn't read the comics, the trailer didn't get me excited, etc. But then the movie came out, and it got really good reviews. So I sought it out and found one of the last showings of it, and boy am I glad I did. Here's the bottom line. This is a Disney animated movie mixed with a Marvel movie. How is that not, like, the best thing ever? This film is entertaining from the very beginning, and for the most part holds it for the rest of the movie. Hero and all his friends are awesome characters, and Baymax is the most lovable robot since WALL-E. The microbots looked so cool when the bad guy was doing all of his moves. It is literally a Disney Avengers movie. Wait, that already exists. It is literally a Disney animated Avengers movie. At a couple parts it's hilarious, at some parts it's emotional, and all around it's just great. Oh, and also those flying scenes were on par with Hiccup and Toothless dive bombing. Everything is awesome! Number 5. The Lego Movie. This is a movie that definitely took me by surprise. I give this movie so much credit because it could have just been a commercial for toys. Like, hey look, new Batman Lego set, new Pirate Lego set, new Rainbow Kitty Lego set, and it was so much more. Yeah, the first 20 minutes or so didn't exactly hit home with me, but from that point on, the movie is just great. The stop motion is fascinating to watch, even though it all probably is done with computers. Chris Pratt does an amazing job with his character, its ending is a lot deeper than I would have expected, and it is honestly hilarious at times. I watched it for the first time on a plane, and 1 or 2 people were looking at me because I was laughing so hard. Number 4. 22 Jump Street. 21 Jump Street is one of my favorite comedies, so 22 had some big shoes to fill. On top of that, comedy sequels 90% of the time don't work or aren't as funny as the first, and that is why I was so surprised when this movie was just as funny as the first. I was almost in tears from laughing in more than one part. Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum have amazingly good chemistry and comedic timing. Seriously, they could be reading the lines from Batman and Robin and it would be hilarious. The writing and editing in this movie is great, all the actors are amazing, and Ice Cube stole the show with some of the funniest lines in the movie.
Come on, man, hook me up. What the y'all doing? Y'all rationing around here? Come on.
Overall, this movie blew my expectations out of the water and was gut-busting. Number 3. What happens when you take a great hero played by a great actor and mix him with some great action, great directing, a great villain, a great plot twist, great supporting characters, great story,
2 hours later,
and a great ending? You get Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This movie is one of the best Marvel movies and is one of the best superhero movies. It takes everything I didn't like about the first one, which mind you wasn't much, and fixed it. It fixed the pacing issues and the tonal problem. I'm not one for dark and realistic movies, but the action in this movie was so gritty and intense and I could go on for hours. This film's supporting characters are as phenomenal as Captain America, who is great, Black Widow, Falcon, and Nick Fury. The plot twist is ridiculous when it's revealed, spoiler alert for The Winter Soldier, that these super Nazis are growing inside a shield, and yet this film pulls it off. Just know that the only reason this isn't number 1 is that 2 other movies came out that blew my mind. Number 2. X-Men: Days of Future Past. God, where to start with this one? I think I've summed it up before. X-Men 1 and 2, awesome. X-Men First Class, awesome. Combine them, how is it not going to be awesome? Music, characters, acting, action. I have virtually no complaints with this movie. Some complaints other people have. Wolverine is the main character again, which A, no he isn't, but B, even if you count him as being the main character, Hugh Jackman kills it as Wolverine. Pun intended. He's a joy to watch, and while I know some already have, I don't think I'll ever get tired of seeing him. James McAvoy does an excellent job of making Charles Xavier a more relatable character. Michael Fassbender is just as great as Eric Lenscher as he was in First Class, and I'm just gonna be honest here. Spoiler alert for Days of Future Past. This scene made me cry. The music, combined with Eric's speech, combined with all your favorite X-Men dying, it was pretty emotional for me at least. I can't stop this feeling. And number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy. This was the year's biggest surprise for pretty much everyone. I thought it would either be terrible or awesome. Guess which one it ended up being. Guardians was hilarious, exciting, had some heartfelt moments, and never once was I bored or not interested. I liked that this movie is a bit independent from the Marvel Universe. It did show off a bit more of Thanos, which was cool, and the main tie-in to the rest of the MCU. But besides that, it stands on its own, which we haven't seen recently. The best thing about this movie is of course the characters. They have such great chemistry. Chris Pratt kills it as Star-Lord, and this film managed to make a walking tree that says 3 words, the coolest character of the year. This is something I really love Marvel for. After I saw The Avengers, I was like, yep, nothing's ever going to be as good as that. Then I saw Winter Soldier and I was like, okay, that was up there with The Avengers, but nothing could be as good as these two. Then I saw Guardians and I was like, this is amazing. If this pattern continues, by the time we get to Infinity War, those movies are in theory going to be the best films ever made. So those were my favorite movies of 2014. What are yours? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, remember to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. See ya in 2015.